This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah, HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom. I'm the brother Dama Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and as we know, Satan is working, and you're going to have a lot of our people, the Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and a bunch of the people of the world who are ignorant to the devices and the methods of Satan are getting ready to be very deceived, man. Like I've been saying months and months now, we're living in the time of, mass deception, man, especially with artificial intelligence. Now at the helm, Esau has an even more powerful tool at his disposal to deceive people. And as of right now, man, you literally can't believe nothing of what you literally see, because all that shit is being used. It's a form of witchcraft and sorcery. And now at the height of artificial intelligence and this technological era, Esau has, mastered the art of deception, which he's always been highly deceptive, very manipulative. We know he's always used psychological operations. He's always, used the art of misdirection, and now he has the ultimate power to make something appear real that is completely and totally fabricated and fake, man. And he's going to use this totally to deceive you people, man, to sway your emotions, to get you to get you emotionally involved in things that are absolutely literally fake, but it's going to be made to appear real, man. You see, and a lot of people, don't understand the depths and the working of Satan. They don't truly understand how this man operates, and it's going to lead a lot of these people, to being outsmarted, to being taken advantage of. And that's why we got to praise Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai every day for giving us the eye salve, giving us the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and the ability to be able to understand the inner workings and the depths of Satan, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the number one enemy of the Israelites, man. Right. I was reading this article, which is a good article, but, it's basically highlighting everything that we've been, explaining through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And now we're at the point to where, hey, if you Jakes can't see it, if you don't get it, if you don't want to fully understand that this man is your enemy and he's a liar and he's a deceiver and he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, then I don't know what to tell you. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to ultimately be deceived. You're going to be outsmarted. You're going to be, tossed to and fro with a lot of his deceptions. And he's going to use his sorcery and his witchcraft and his deception and his misdirections and his, his power to deceive is going to work against you, and it's going to eventually get you to be emotionally involved and eventually to make a decision that's going to lure you right into the trap, and it's going to lead you down a path he ultimately wants you to go down, and it's going to be justified and bopping you upside the head and waging war upon you and setting you in a trap of your own destruction, man. So this is an article I found from Natural News. It says the inevitable tribal collision, how proxy uprisings, constitutional power, and America's coming civil war intersect, because these things are all being, systematically orchestrated, man. It's going to go into this article how a lot of these things that are happening are not organic, man. A lot of these things have been planned. A lot of these things are just the working in the devices of this damn devil, Esau, Edom, which is Satan, that the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And a lot of people are starting to wake up, but hey, not enough are going to wake up in time. And like I said, a lot of the things that you see, man, are all fake. It's all intentional, man. Like I said, a lot of it is to get you people emotionally charged to react to things that he wants you to react to, so he can bring chaos so that he can bring the order out of it, man. So let's read some of this article. I'm gonna hop around. I'm not gonna read all of it, but it says the introduction, the theater unfolds. And remember, a lot of this stuff, like especially this whole situation with this Third World War and the Trump and the Greenland and the Russia, Ukraine, the China and stuff, the things with Iran and Israel, a lot of this is nothing more but political theater. A lot of this stuff is being presented in a way to make it seem like it's, not planned and that it's organic and that it's just the way that things are going. But a lot of these things have been planned for many, many years in advance. You see, this man is very crafty. He's very cunning. He's like a serpent. He's very patient, man. And he's been putting these things in play for many, many years. And now it's starting to unfold. But we know ultimately it's all, according to the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because it's going to serve a greater purpose for prophecy to be fulfilled. But at the same time, the Lord is showing us that, he's showing us how this devil operates, man. And we can see, how this man is truly, very, very highly deceptive and very, very demonic. And he has, power on the left hand side to make things appear real that are completely, totally fabricated and fake. It says the stage is set in a nation fracturing along ideological fault lines. A recent report from InfoWars noted that political and social polarization is at an all-time high, especially in urban environments, making society feel like a pressure cooker ready to burst. It says this fits a larger pattern of institutional collapse, where the very document signed to the United States, the U.S. Constitution, is being wielded as a tribal weapon. Divergent narratives about events labeled as insurrection reveal a deeper, more troubling partnership between government and media, you see, because government and media work hand in hand. They're all owned, operated, and ran by the same owners, man. So, this is why, you're seeing all of these things happen that just don't make any sense, that just look stupid and like a Hollywood movie, man, because the government and media are working hand in hand to ultimately deceive you people. All right. To present to you exactly what they want you to see so that they could make things happen the way they want it to happen, because they already know how you people are going to react to certain stimuli, man. Remember, this man has studied the brain. He studied the people, He's accomplished a very diligent search, and the very heart of them is deep. So they fully understand how to manipulate and how to, deceive the people into, getting particular reactions so that they can be justified in doing what they want to do. It says they collaborate to shape a single state-sanctioned story, criminalizing dissent and equating political opposition with treason. You see, so they'll make particular things happen. Like, for instance, that whole Minnesota with that shooting shit of Renee Good. You don't know 100% if that shit was staged or faked. Like it could have been real, but they're still able to manipulate the narrative and to present it in a way to where, they can get a particular reaction out of the people, or try to get a particular reaction out of the people. And more than likely, they always get the reaction that they want. And then they can be justified in criminalizing the people as dissenters, as terrorists, as violent uprisings. So then, they can, pull out the Insurrection Act. They can categorize people, and they can terrorize and bring down curfews and martial law upon the people, which is what they always wanted, so that they can bring in this new world order, man. You see, the heart is very deep. It says the mechanisms of, where was I? Oh. It says they collaborate to shape a single state-sanctioned story, criminalizing dissent and equating political opposition with treason. The mechanisms of constitutional power, particularly the threat of invoking the Insurrection Act, are now part of the political arsenal, signaling a move from pluralistic debate toward unilateral control. You see, it's always about control. This is why they want to bring order out of the chaos. This is why they'll stage particular events, stage particular shootings. Now, yeah, there are real people that might die sometimes. Sometimes it's all staged. Like, for instance, that whole scenario that happened in Australia a couple weeks or a month ago with a particular people during a particular holy day that they were keeping. It looked, on the surface, it looked like it was completely, organic in nature, and it was a attack. But all in essence, man, you know that there's more to it than what it seems, and that's what they bank on. They use particular situations to get desired results and to make it look a certain way to get you people to react so they can be justified and going forward with their agendas, man. This man is the damn very cunning demonic entity, man. It is all within his left-handed power of deception and witchcraft and sorcery and manipulation. This is why he's heavy into psychological operations, propaganda, man, because it's all being used to fulfill his agendas, man. And if you're blind to the fact, and if you don't really understand how this man operates, you're going to be duped and deceived every time. It says, where was I? Yeah, it says this article explores the collision course where proxy uprisings, expanded executive authority, and a silent war on health coverage to create the conditions for a national rupture. You see, these devils need chaos. They need civil war. They need the people divided, because it's all going to work for their ultimate agenda, which is to bring in this NWO, man. You see? This is why I started with, you can't let Satan should get an advantage, because we're not ignorant to his devices. We know how this man works, man. He's literally, well, let's get this. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. I read it in the NLT. It says, for this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way, which is, ultimately Yahweh Shai. He's going to be the only one that's going to truly put an end to this wickedness and this reign of terror that Esau, Edom, and these international bankers are given. Now, of course, in the meantime, the Lord's going to have, their own tongues to fall on them. He's going to have, particular, the prophets and the men of the Lord exposing it. And you're going to have, also the third witness, which is a lot of these people, and even AI. If you go in deep enough and ask it the right questions, it'll tell you that these things are true. But ultimately, it's not going to be fully ended until the day that Yahweh Shai cracks those clouds and come back on his chariot with the thousands of angels to rise up to the prey, man. That's when it's going to be fully ended. He's going to be fully dethroned and broken and, fully checked, man. It says the man of lawlessness will be revealed, which he's being revealed now, but he still has the power to the power of his media and the government to be able to, come up against the truth. He's still able, he's still powerful enough with it to spin the narrative. And this is why he's going to eventually allow certain events to happen to where you're not going to have the right to free speech anymore. Now they're saying that your constitutional right to have free speech is, it should be stopped, This is why things have to be censored. Certain things can't be said. They're showing you how, so-called mis and disinformation, which is pretty much whatever they deem the truth, and that exposes them as something that could, inspire people to do violent acts, and, it could cause unneeded uprisings that the government doesn't need. And this is why you're seeing in a lot of countries them going door to door with going door to door to people who have put out tweets that they deem to be that could spark that could influence people to go and act out violently or whatever. This is why you see a lot of heavy censorship on the internet. This is why they want, digital, all of your biometrics and your ability to go online to be, for your, in order for you to go online, you have to be identified and, basically given permission to go online and to tweet and to put up videos pretty soon in the future, because it's all ultimately working against him, and he needs it to be stopped. But it's already, the cat is already out the bag. This man has already been exposed for the devil that he is. But it says, then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahweh Shai will kill him with the breath of his mouth, which is what? The prophets, the truth coming out against him, and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. You see, it's not until Yahweh Shai actually comes back that this man will be fully destroyed. But in the meantime, the prophets and the men of the Lord, we're here to just expose this devil, expose his crimes, bring the truth to the light, bring the truth to the forefront. And then when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to find this man guilty. He's going to dethrone this man, and he's going to basically confirm everything that we found this man guilty of through the mouth of the prophets. Yahweh Shai is going to come and judge him and find him guilty for all of his crimes, his wickedness, his sorcery, his witchcraft, his destroying of the earth, his blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, all of this wickedness. is going to be eventually judged by Yahushua when he makes his second return. Now we're just in the time of revealing this damn devil, Esau, Edom, the wicked. It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan. And what does Satan mean? Let's get that. We always go into this, but hey, you have new listeners who may not know what the Satan really means. And the word is Satanas. It says, an adversary, one who opposes another in purpose or act. That says, the prince of evil spirits, the inveterate adversary of the Most High in Christ, which it just means the adversary. You see, and that's what Satan is. That's what Esau is. He's an adversary to all that is righteous and all that is good. He was created to be the devil. He was created to be an adversary, the wicked, the deceptor. He's literally, a counterpart, the physical counterpart to the spiritual demon Satan. It says he incites apostasy from the Most High and to sin, circumventing men by his wiles. You see? It says by his demons, he is able to take possession of men and inflict them with diseases. Well, in which Esau does that in the physical sense on the earth, man. Everything that the spiritual demon Satan does, Esau exhibits those traits in the physical world, See, look, a Satan-like man, an adversarial-like man, and that's Esau Edom, man. He is Satan. He's a great adversary to all that is righteous and all that is true. And this is why he move and operate the way that he does on the earth, man. It's simple. It says this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. See, and that's what this man is all about. And this is what I'm reading in this letter, exactly what Satan does, man. All right. It says civil unrest is rarely spontaneous. As detailed in the naturalnews.com, nationwide anti-Trump demonstrations have been exposed as part of a calculated color revolution campaign. Same thing he's doing over there in Iran. The West and those tiny tops, all that shit is those color revolutions, that whole civil unrest is all coordinated. It's all orchestrated, man. It's not as organic as it seems. Now, do you have real people protesting and pissed off about, the way that, the Iranian government and their condition of their money system is? Yeah, of course, you're always going to have disgruntled citizens. But a lot of the extra shit that is happening is being orchestrated by the West and by the small hats, man. You see, but if you're ignorant to those, you might just think everything that's happening there is all organic and, America needs to go and save the day. And that tyrannical regime of the Ayatollah needs to be stopped, when America was the same one that overthrew Iran and put in that same type of so-called tyrannical government. But now they need to go in to save the day. You see, and if you don't know these things, you'll be duped to believe that everything that's happening there is just a natural situation, and there needs to be regime change. And those people are oppressed; they're being hurt, they're being harmed, they need to be saved by the West, and they need democracy. But hey, it's a lot deeper than what it seems, man. A lot of it is wickedness. A lot of it is a plot to overthrow Iran because the powers that be want control of it. It says demonstrations have been exposed as part of a calculated color revolution campaign funded by NGOs, non-governmental, what's the O stand for? Organizations, unions, and far left networks, with data showing many protesters are repeat participants. You see that all the time, man. You see? Like I said, everything is fake. Everything is tacky. Everything is stupid. It says this orchestration follows a historical playbook where unrest is manufactured to justify a government crackdown. It's the same thing you see happening here with this whole Minneapolis shit. Now, do you have real protesters out there? Do you have real people that are pissed? Of course. But you have a lot of manufactured participants, man. Repeat participants, agent provocateurs. You see those guys that are getting all in the ICE agents' faces and spitting in their face. A lot of those guys are brought and paid agents, man. See, because that's part of that's what a lot of these agencies and these participants are paid off to do, man. It's all fabricated, man. A lot of that shit is not what it seems to be, and you got to be up on game. You can't. Let me get that, man. guess I didn't have it. Thought I did. But anyways, it says the corporate media functions as the provocation squad, amplifying narratives of chaos and violence to create the perception of an existential threat. This partnership is not new. As one book notes, U.S. intelligence agencies and media have historically engaged in censorship to bury authentic, incriminating evidence, such as the Hunter Biden laptop story, to manipulate public perception. You see, and that's all part of the sorcery and the witchcraft that this man operates under, man. And this is why, you can't just watch mainstream media, because that shit is totally controlled. It's totally geared into deceiving you people and giving you the information and the perception that they want you to have, man. You see, it's never any truth. That's why you got to go to a lot of these alternative news media sites. That's why when you see shit happening per se in Iran, you have to go to Iranian news sites and see what they're actually saying about it. Stop believing whatever the mainstream news media say, because it's all bullshit, man. It's all propaganda. It's all psychological operations. It's all information and media geared toward painting a picture that the powers that be want you to see and to believe, man. So they can be justified in going there and doing whatever they need to do, not knowing the whole time it was all bullshit. It was all propaganda to get you to to believe the main narrative, so they can be justified in going in there and doing all type of wickedness, man. It says these operations are a classic false flags. Another article reveals how foreign influence, such as that from China-tied billionaire, is suspected of funding U.S. protest groups linked to riots. The goal is to trigger a response that validates the expansion of state power. The media's role is to ensure the public sees only the reaction, never the provocation, settling the stage for the suspension of normal liberties, man. Right? So, yeah, man, you can't be so naive out here, man. Too late in the game for you to believe in a lot of the shit that you see is real. This is Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. You see, and if you're prudent and you're wise, you're gonna you'll understand. You can't believe whatever is coming out of these devils' monkey lips, man, because it's all propaganda. It's all bullshit. It's all to get the desired result and to get you to emotionally be invested and involved and to believe whatever slop they're feeding you, man. See, this man is very wicked, man. You see? And this is Psalm 64:5 in the NLT. They encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. As they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised a perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning, and that's the mind and the heart of Esau. He's very cunning, man. Everything he does is bullshit, man. You got everything he tells you have to take with a grain of salt, and whatever he's presenting you with or putting on the mainstream news media is more than likely the opposite of whatever he's telling you, man. But you just got to be prudent and doing your own research and really trying to figure out what the hell is really going on. But 99% of the time, man, it's all cap. Okay. It says, I don't want to read up. Yep. That's pretty much what I wanted on that. But, like I said, but a lot of these things is all part of the secret counsel of the wicked. A lot of these things have been orchestrated and planned and are being done intentionally, Do I want this? Let me see. Yeah, I read some of this. It says that the Insurrection Act of 1807, a law allowing the president to deploy active duty military domestically, has become a central point of contention. Critics warn that this rarely used power intended for extreme emergencies is now being threatened as a tool of political control. Its deployment, you're right, and Trump can use this Insurrection Act to shut down future elections so he can stay in power, man. You see? So they can shut things down, so they can put in curfews, ultimately so they can force this new world order on everybody, man. They can use that Insurrection Act to push digital IDs, to bring in CBDCs, to bring in, this technocracy. It says critics warn that this rarely used power intended for extreme emergencies is now being threatened as a tool for political control. Remember, everything is about control. This coming economic collapse is going to be so that they can have total, complete, it's all for control. You see? It says its deployment would not be a restoration of order, but a stark admission that pluralistic democracy has failed. Invoking the act as a step toward martial law, a scenario where the military replaces civilian government, legal expert notes that while the Insurrection Act differs from full martial law, its misuse signals a disregard for constitutional limit. Under such interpretations, Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable search and seizure would evaporate. A left-wing uprising, whether organic or engineered, would provide the perfect pretext to validate long-standing government ambitions for digital surveillance. You see, and this is why they want you people to fight. This is why they want to bring in martial law. It's why they want to bring in lockdown so they can force digital surveillance, force you to digitally have to ID yourself, and ultimately to bring in this NWO, man. It says it will provide the perfect pretext to validate long-standing government ambitions for digital surveillance, central bank digital currencies, and a comprehensive digital ID system. You see? And this is what these devils are ultimately trying to implement, man. But it's all being done secretly. It's all being done deceptively, man. And if you're not wise, if you're not paying attention, hey, you're going to be deceived, man. And you're going to believe that everything that they're doing is for your betterment and for, to make you safe. And they're going to promise you peace and safety, but then sudden destruction is going to come upon you. Your ass going to be in a 15-minute city. You're going to have to take a micro C-hip eventually, the MOTB. You're going to have to merge yourself with technology, put a goddamn Neuralink in your skull. And you're going to be in prison, all while thinking that this shit was being done to help you and to make the world safer and to be able to stop all of this chaos and the uprisings and to bring peace and safety, man. You see, this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. All right. And like I said, and it's only going to end when Yahweh Shai comes back to literally destroy this devil, man. All right. The people are not going to protest. The people are not going to come together to be able to fight against this and throw all these criminals and the international bankers and Trump and Fauci and all of the usual and Bill and kill gates of hell into prison and to jail. Hey, that's what Yahweh Shai, when he comes back, that's what he's going to ultimately do. Right now, we're just in the phase of exposing this damn devil until the Lord comes back to judge them all, man, and to rise up to the prey. And he's gonna break their teeth. He's gonna judge these devils, and he's gonna judge and make war and establish, a righteous kingdom and government on this earth in the future, man. So, hey, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem and Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this is edifying. Until the next one, shalom.